Hello YouTube friends, and welcome for another little walk. Today is November the 4th, Saturday. I would say it's about 10ish a.m. Today we're gonna go for a little walk in a nice garden. But at first I want to point out before I miss it, we're gonna pass one of my favorite restaurants just now. I know there's at least one of you who's a bit of a foodie like me too, so I just didn't want to miss mentioning it. Let's see, here's the sign. I've been there maybe, I don't know, 3 times or something. It's a wonderful restaurant. I'll see if I can remember to put up a link in the description. If I forget and you want to see it, please remind me and I'll fix it, no problem. Alright, let's go for a walk in the garden. We're in a part of Copenhagen that's called Frederiksberg. Actually, technically, it's its own municipality, located like an enclave within Copenhagen. But it's considered a part of the Copenhagen area, obviously. I don't know the history of Frederiksberg in detail, but I do know some headlines. Well, there's been people living here since before the Bronze Age. But I think it must have been in the 1500s, maybe middle of the 1500s, close to 1600. That the king, it must have been Frederick III, I think, imported, quote unquote, imported some Dutch farmers to till the land. Alas, they, for some reason I'm not sure of, did not have great success. So he took back the land, the king, and I think maybe it was his son. I think Christian the, I don't know, 5th or something. I can't remember. However, later on, I think it was late 1600s, maybe even early 1700s. The crown prince was about to be king, Frederick the 4th. I'm pretty sure. Built. I wouldn't say a castle, but I don't know, I'm not sure of the English word here. But like a summer residence is perhaps the word I'm looking for. Which we're going to see in just a moment. And it's on top of a hill. And below the hill, where we are now, he built this garden. I think in the early days it was mostly just flat. And a few years later it was changed into what it is now, with the little windy pathways and trees and a pond and stuff like that. And let me just apologize in advance, because we're gonna get up, we're gonna have to hike up a not very long but very steep hill, and I guarantee you that I will be very out of breath. So let me just apologize in advance for the huffing and puffing, and there might be a couple of minutes where I'm getting my breath back and will be speaking too much. We're actually gonna get to it now. But I really love this garden, especially in the autumn. Like I've mentioned in my earlier videos, that I really love the autumn. The changing colors, the smells, it's getting a little cooler. I love that. So yeah, I'll keep my mouth shut for a couple of minutes now. Okay, it was actually not as bad as I feared. Maybe all these walking tours have actually paid off. Who knows? Yeah. All right. So this is the summer residence of which I was speaking. I think nowadays, let me back up and get a better shot. I think, I don't want to fall down here. I think nowadays it's, I'm actually not quite sure, but I think the military or something have some offices there or something. And as usual, I'm gonna get, let me see if I can get a shot of, yeah, for the old Instagram. Some runners are coming by. Yeah, let me show you the view from the summer residence of the garden. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's do this slow. Yeah. And also there is a different, well, my main reason of taking this particular walk today is like a celebratory walk, because we have just, maybe don't remember the exact date, last week or something, passed my 1 year anniversary of doing walking tours on YouTube. Oh, I forgot to take a picture for the Instagram. Never mind, doesn't matter. Anyways, Yeah, so I thought this was, I think, maybe the first or the second, walking tour I ever did. So I thought, now that we've just passed my 1 year anniversary, that I'd do it again. Hopefully a little better than the first time. I had a bit of a giggle re-watching some of the first video I put up. I mean, I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. Oh man. I mean, even the camera settings were all off. I wasn't keeping the camera level. It was pointing up towards the sky most of the time, and yeah, I had no clue. But I decided early on that I would leave it up there, because it's like a timeline. I mean, for me at least it's fun to see, you know, the journey I've been on, you know, from my fumbling arounds in the beginning to my still kind of fumbling arounds now, but I tell myself I've gotten a little better. But for me, I guess, doing this whole YouTube thing, walking tours thing, it's never been for me, it's never been a question about achieving perfection or anything. I mean, I'm not a photographer at all. Most of the time I have no clue what I'm doing. But I think it's mentally healthy for me to take walks. I've always loved taking walks, even on my own. And during the pandemic, I started noticing on YouTube that people were doing this, and I don't know, for one reason or another, it never occurred to me that I could do the same. Well, I guess one day it did kind of check in with me that, oh, maybe I could buy a camera and try it out. So for me, it's more like a leisurely thing. I enjoy going on walks, and even, you know, bringing you guys with me, so to speak. And of course, sure, after a while you get more subscribers and people watch your videos for longer, and you get a little, I wouldn't say ambitious, that would be too strong a word, but sure, if the channel could get more successful, that would be awesome. You know, doing something you enjoy, being successful, instead of just having a quote-unquote normal job like I also do, which is fine, but this would be awesome to have success with this. So yeah, that brings me to asking you guys, as per usual, have any feedback, if you have any input, longer videos, shorter videos, any particular places you would like to see, or just regular general feedback. Don't be shy, please let me know in the comments. If it's in any way realistic, feasible or possible for me, I shall try to make it happen. Now, this was something I wanted to show you, but I think alas, we are out of luck today. The zoo of Copenhagen is located just on the other side of this park, and sometimes they let the elephants out here for people to watch for free, I guess, if you take a walk in the park, but no elephants are out today, I'm afraid. But to narrow it down, instead of just asking for general feedback, do you prefer, like, you know, park walks like this, or more like touristy stuff, or just regular normal neighborhoods, or yeah, if you have any preference, please let me know. But like I mentioned in the last video I did last week, I think it was anyways, in this part of the year, with all the darkness and the bad weather, it will be most walks close to my home, because the time frame, the timetable I have to be able to shoot in daylight will be very limited. Whereas in the summer, I'm more open to, maybe going to other cities and stuff like that. But yeah, in the winter time, it's going to be jolly difficult. So be prepared. In the winter time, it's going to be mostly local. In the summer times, it's going to be more spread out. Oh man, don't you just love those colors? I do. Yeah. And it's funny because I'm not a big outdoorsy person. I like the big cities. So for me, taking a walk in the park is all the nature I need, really. I know if you're a really outdoorsy type, that might sound a bit pathetic, but yeah, well, that's how I am. I think actually located inside a park. I actually think this is a private residence, but I think it might be what's the English word here? Like the boss caretaker of the park or something? I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a more correct English term for that, but yeah, I don't know it. And as you can probably tell by now, it's also a park that a lot of people jog in. Before I had my knee injury, it was also a park that I really enjoyed jogging in, because I might do this, I don't know, maybe next week or the week after or something. There's a park adjacent to this, and they're actually like more or less like one. They're separated by a road, but it's more or less, they have different names, so I wouldn't say it's the same park, but then again, And those two parks combined, because this is more pretty, where I am now, and the other park is more, I wouldn't say gritty, but nature-like, or whatever word I could use here. Let's go. Oh, I'm gonna get lost now. Whatever, let's try it out. No, so those two parks combined, because they're very different. I really enjoy jogging there. This one we're in now, apart from the hill before, it's pretty flat. But the other one is more hilly. So back before my knee injury, when I used to run a lot, I loved running there. This is also a restaurant I want to point out. It's not on the level. The other one I pointed out in the beginning of the video is Michelin level. This isn't. But it's still really delicious, and it's a very comfortable and cozy place. Yeah. And also the other park I'm mentioning now that's adjacent to this one was one of the first walks that I did on YouTube. Why I'm hesitating is because I can't remember if the park we're in now was my first video, or the park adjacent to this that I just talked about was the first video, but they were first and second. I just don't remember which one was which. So yeah, that's why I thought I'd take a walk here today to kind of celebrate that I'm a year old. A week and a half ago or something. I actually tried during the summer. I told myself, hey, remember to maybe make a little bit of a celebration video on the exact date. But yeah, I forgot. Kind of busy and crazy at work these days, so yeah, my focus has been elsewhere. But I'm guessing it's not that big of a deal. I mean, last week, this week, you know, life goes on. There's no stopping it. I think I just took a wrong turn, didn't I? Yeah, because we're gonna get exactly back where we just were. And as I've probably mentioned before, I have absolutely no sense of direction at all. I get lost all the time. But it's fine. Then you sometimes discover new stuff. I guess it's also the impulsive side to me that sometimes I make decisions that are not very well thought through. Sometimes I can be really good, and sometimes, yeah, well, not so much. I'm not afraid of change. I'm not afraid of trying new stuff out. I guess that's a, strength. But I do sometimes make rash decisions, which is, not a strength. So, good and bad, double-edged sword, and what do you have? I'm forgetting to take pictures for my Instagram today. Oh man, look at these colors. Yeah. I love that. It soothed my soul. Oh man, that sounded a bit dramatic, didn't it? I guess my two favorite seasons would be, well, autumn, like I've mentioned before, but also spring, because things are changing there too. I like change. You know, the summers can be they feel kind of stagnant to me, like everything is standing still, and I'm not a big fan of heat. And the winters are just dark and dismal. So I guess, yeah, autumn and spring, because things are changing, things are happening. I like that. Oh yeah, there's a bridge over here that I was trying to find, but with my poor sense of judgment I've only found it from afar. Let's see if we can get a little closer. What about you guys? Do you have any favorite parks in the city where you live, or nature spots, or favorite spots to take walks or relax? Feel free to chime in the comment section. It would be cool to see, well, where you're from, and if you have any cool parks or something like that where you live. Who knows, if it's in Europe or something, I might travel even to that city at some point. No promises, obviously, but I like to get around as much as possible. I mean, I'm not by any means a wealthy man, but I try to put money aside for a couple of smaller trips every year. But mostly, like I've mentioned, in the summer period. Yeah, let's go this way. Yeah, but yeah, please feel free. Join the conversation. What's your favorite park in your favorite city or the city you live in? Let me just take a picture again. And apropos Instagram, I sometimes stop, like I said, to take pictures for Instagram. I actually do have an Instagram, a Walkerfoot Instagram. I do focus though. Like I said, I have a quote-unquote real job, so I do focus on YouTube stuff, but do upload pictures and stuff to my Instagram as well. So yeah, if you feel like it, give it a follow. The link should be somewhere on my YouTube homepage or YouTube page. And if it is, but it's just, you know, the same handle as my YouTube, so it should be pretty easy to find. Yeah, I think we've been like, what's the English? We're like on the edge of the park, walking in like a big circle, almost, pretty much. There are a few smaller intricate pathways in the middle of the park, I've ventured in there a few times, but it takes me sometimes an hour to get out because, like I said, I have absolutely no sense of direction. So I'm thinking I don't have battery on my camera for that long, so we just take the walk that I know. But yeah, the other park that I talked about adjacent to this, which were my first 2 walking tours, I might do this, well, maybe not next week, but yeah, maybe next week. We'll see how the weather is, but sometime during the autumn anyways. The weather is kind of my boss walking tour-wise these days. Yeah, and the temperature right now is, yeah, I'm actually not sure, 10 degrees C or something, which is absolutely perfect for me. But as you might have noticed, people are kind of divided right now. I'm wearing like a light autumn jacket, you know, just sneakers, no gloves or hats or anything yet. But some people already think this now is really cold. I pity those poor people when the frost comes. But I mean, 10 degrees C, somewhere between 10 and 15 degrees C is my sweet spot. If we get over 20, I suffer. Oh man. Alright, we're getting close to the end of the walk here. I think we'll end up by the restaurant building I showed you in the beginning, or no, let's just go with the statue from the beginning. Almost there. But as per usual, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, or so to speak. Stay tuned for more stuff, and you know, like I always say, and some of you probably already have, but hit all the buttons. I'll really appreciate it. YouTube like that stuff. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now, guys.
Og det har du lige styr på, når du er